Good day, this is Teacher Rowan. I'll be your guide in exploring Google Apps for education, for teaching and learning. In Google for Education, teachers can connect and collaborate easily while staying on task. It gives teachers the freedom to spend more time personalizing the learning experience and less time managing it. Students can learn essential skills such as 21st century problem solving, which they can use it in their future careers. As such, the accessibility features will also help and assist every learner to do their best work. Google offers different useful applications that we can use to connect education to technology. This will help our teachers as a 21st century educators to innovate and find ways on how to make teaching and learning more exciting, engaging, effective, and flexible to the demands of the society. Let's re-explore the education experience by discovering new angles to create, collaborate, and communicate as one. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Ang pagkatuto, huwag gawing komplikado. Sulong edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng DepEd Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Alright, good afternoon, ETUlay learners and parents. Kamusta po kayo? Napakainit. Do not forget to keep yourselves hydrated. Inom po tayo ng maraming tubig. Here again is Tutor Dick for your Week 8, your last week. Unfortunately, for 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. Bago pong lahat, I would like to say again, good afternoon to SDO Olongapo City, headed by Madam Lailani Cunanan. Good afternoon po ang aming superintendent at ang aming Schools Division Assistant Superintendent, Madam Maylene Minimo. Good afternoon po, ma'am. And to our EPS for English, Ma'am Loretta Figueroa. Magandang hapon po, ma'am. Our PSDS for District 5B, Sir Allen Toyogon. Good afternoon, sir. To the Principal of New Cabalan Senior High School, Sir Samson Bukiron. Magandang hapon po sa inyo, sir. And to our Master Teachers, Ma'am Susan Laksamana, our Master Teacher 2 for Academic Group, and to Sir Richel Quinto, good afternoon, sir. Our Academic TVL Group Head, Master Teacher 1, magandang hapon po sa inyo. Okay, ready? Your pivot learning and parents, ihanda na po natin ang ating lapis at papel, and we are good to go for our Week 8, Quarter 2 of 21st Century Literature from the Philippines and the world. For this tutorial, we will have these 5 objectives rather. Number 1, we'll try our best to demonstrate ability to interpret specific literary genre. Ayan po ang ating unang-unang gagawin. We have to interpret a specific literary genre. Mamaya po makikita nyo kung ano pong literary genre ang ating i-interpret. Okay? We have to do our best to create. You have to do your best to create a unique literary adaptation through a multimedia presentation. And number 3, you need to do your best to illustrate a creative literary adaptation with one's ICT skills. So focus tayo sa ICT skills a little later on. And the fourth one, is appreciate the use of multimedia to enhance ICT skills. Ayan po, magagamit kaya natin ang mga skills na to sa ating literature reading and learning. We'll see. So let us begin by having our first recall. Before you learn another interesting literary genre and other multimedia presentation tools, for today, let us take time to answer the following questions. No? Balikan po natin si, ayan po, anecdote. What is an anecdote? Okay? An anecdote, according to Nagpal of 2016, is a short, entertaining, or interesting story about a real incident or person. Bakit kaya natin siya babalikan ngayon? A little later on, makikita nyo kung bakit. Okay, why are we going to read an anecdote? Or why include anecdotes in a story or storytelling? What are the different purposes of telling an anecdote? Number one is to bring cheer. We use anecdotes, we read anecdotes, and authors use these to bring cheer to the readers. Number two, they also use this to reminisce some important events in their lives or the experiences. Again, number three, they use anecdotes to give caution to the readers or warnings. And last but not the least, to persuade and of course, to inspire. Okay. So for today's tutorial, since we are dealing with multimedia formats, can you name varied multimedia formats being used to interpret literary text, especially these days, the digital age of learning literature? So for today, we have to mention a few of them. Can you mention a few of them? Let's see. For those few, let's try to focus on the 5 that we're going to learn for today. Let's try. If you are able to name these 5. Shout out muna po tayo kay Miss Lunila Hurial and Miss Maribel Regosera from Kalawakan Elementary School, SDO, Santiago City. From Laika, magandang hapon po sa inyo. And good afternoon po kay Ma'am Zenny R. De La Cruz. And to everyone, magandang hapon po sa inyo, Ma'am Zenny. And Ma'am Lee Kaday, watching from the city of Ilagan. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. So for today's tutorial, we'll focus on videos. Ayan po. One of the most common multimedia formats being used in literature, reading, and studying videos. There would be MPEGs and MP4. At marami pa pong bagong mga video formats ngayon that you will be able to use, especially the students. There are also tons of animation. Ito po isa sa mga paboritong ginagamit ng authors ngayon. And of course, the learners and the teachers, they make use of animations. The internet, Google applications, very credible sources of different kinds of animation apps and programs. We also have audio. Okay? Yan po. We make use of videos. Mahalaga po dyan ang mga voiceovers natin. And of course, sounds and soundtracks. So we make use of audio. And of course, sometimes we make use of text. If you have ever seen a literary presentation made entirely of text, only in the internet, makikita po natin yan. They make use of text or sometimes in the form of tag clouds, if you're familiar with that. So the entire movie, the entire story, the entire poem rather, is presented in purely text in the form of tag clouds. And of course, tons and tons also of images. And to make the learning of literary pieces more fun and easier for our 21st century learners nowadays. Ayan po. So our focus for today, a piece of literary genre from a very well-known author named Paulo Coelho, a Brazilian author born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 1947. He had a successful career before as a popular songwriter. Yan. He dropped out of law school in 1970 and he went to South America and North Africa, Mexico, and Europe. And he was imprisoned, okay, unfortunately, in 1974 by the military dictatorship during their ruling in Brazil. Nagkaroon po ng military dictatorship doon. And then in 1980, he walked out the 500-plus mile road of Santiago de Compostela in northwestern Spain. So maybe if you are familiar, most of you are familiar with this author, with his work. If you want to know more about Paulo Coelho, you can read A Warrior's Life, a biography of Paulo Coelho by Fernando Moraes. And he is very popular and known to us as the author of the very famous The Alchemist. Now, I love this. I hope you love this novel too. So we're going to focus on one of his anecdotal works or literary pieces. Now he has a some sort of short story which employs an anecdote, no, something that teaches us important values in life. Okay, the title of this work would be The Story of a Pencil. This is not mine. This is from the presentation I'm telling is from Mr. Rahiman. I borrowed this from him. So let's have a short okay, let's have a short presentation of The Story of a Pencil. Let's read. You read along with me. A boy was watching his grandmother write a letter. At one point, he asked, "Are you writing a story about what we've done? Is it a story about me?" He's asking his grandma. "I am writing about you, actually, but more important than the words is the pencil I'm using. Pencil. I hope you will be like this pencil when you grow up." Intrigued, the boy looked at the pencil. It didn't seem very special. It's just pencil, but it's just like any other pencil I've ever seen, he said. "That depends on how you look at things," his grandmother said. "It has 5 qualities which if you manage to hang on to them, will make you a person who is always at peace with the world." There you go. First quality, you are capable of great things, but you must never forget that there is a hand guiding your steps. Again, first quality, you are capable of great things, just like you guys. But you must never forget that there is a hand guiding your steps. We call that hand God, and He always guides us according to His will. Remember the first quality. Second quality, now and then I have to stop writing and use a sharpener. That makes the pencil suffer a little, but afterwards, he's much sharper. So you, too, must learn to bear certain pains and sorrows because they will make you a better person. Remember the second quality. Now we have the third quality. The pencil always allows us to use an eraser to rub out any mistakes. This means that correcting something we did is not necessarily a bad thing. It helps to keep us on the road to justice. Okay, so learners, we commit mistakes, but we can always correct as long as we are alive our mistakes. Fourth quality, what really matters in a pencil is not its wooden exterior, but the graphite inside. So the grandmother is talking about the writing material of the pencil. So always pay attention to what is happening inside you. All right. Fifth and final quality, the pencil's fifth quality, it always leaves a mark. In just the same way, you should know that everything you do in life will leave a mark. Everything. So try to be conscious of that in your every action. Okay, every little action will always have their consequences. So that's the story of the pencil for you guys. But before we dig deeper to that, we use a multimedia format in reading the story of a pencil. That is specifically known as the PowerPoint media. No. Now, for you learners of this age and our teachers, why use multimedia in the first place? Number one, for us learners and teachers of today's generation, digital storytelling allows students to improve their knowledge about a specific subject. You agree with this? And increases skills, yun po, such as, very important, writing, researching, and reading. Yan po ang mga mahalagang skills na kailangan nating matutunan, and are being enhanced by digital storytelling and the use of multimedia. Second is, using multimedia improves the learner's overall academic performance. Very important po sa ating mga learners ngayon, especially this time of pandemic. In particular, multimedia in the classroom is used for, ito po, self-directed learning, or SDL. So the learners, especially the senior high school students, can become more independent in their learning with minimum or just a little bit of guidance from their teachers and of their parents. They can experience the self-directed learning. And students manage their time and assess. They need to do this and they need to learn this. Managing their time and assessing what needs to be included in their learning activities so that they can become more independent, more interactive, and they can be they will be able to practice their management skills. Anyway, it's about them and their course of study. We teachers are just facilitators. Okay, let us now go to your SLM, self-learning module. In your first activity, we can see choose an emoji from the box below to describe the feeling that fits each pencil. Remember the story of the pencil? This will be our activity on that one that fits each pencil description. Write your answer before each number. Shoutout po kay Mr. Joel Kajamat, Flora National High School, Apayao Division. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. God bless you all po. Ayan, let's try. But before we dig deeper to this activity, let us meet first the different emojis. Okay, emoji number 1 would be the proud emoji. Ayan, no? Very proud of his skills. Yan po. Remember this Mr. Confident guy, si Mr. Proud emoji. And then we have the determined and confident, the real determined confident emoji. Yan po. Very confident and he's very determined. Okay. We also have, unfortunately, we have the sad emoji. And most of our students nowadays makaka-relate kay sad emoji. Si hugot emoji. Ayan po. And then we also have, if we have the sad one, we also have one of my favorite emojis, contented and happy emoji. Yan. Take a good look at him. And then, hindi natin maiwasan to, we have the angry emoji. Yan po siya. And unfortunately again, mayroon po tayong madalas na pagkaalalahanan, worried emoji. Ayan, let's have the first description of a pencil and let's try our best. Ano kayang emoji ang ilalagay natin dito? Parents and learners, a sharp-edged pencil, yan po ang ating dinidescribe, in writing, signifies smart and a clever guy. What do you think would be the proper emoji for this one in your SLM? Sige po. Kung yung sagot nyo po ay si proud emoji. Kayang-kaya ko to. Smart and clever guy. I can do this. Yan po ang ating ilalagay doon. Next pencil that describes a characteristic. A broken pencil. Yan, sa mga broken dyan. It suggests a problem. Okay? Or suggests also something that is being heartbroken. Yan po. None other than, of course, we have si sad emoji. Yan. Ayaw na ayaw natin to, pero sometimes we are like this, no? Ano bang nagpapalungkot sa atin mostly? Mga kabataan ngayon. Pag-ibig? Kain-kain natin yan. Alright, a newly sharpened pencil implies regaining one's strength, but thus being ready to face the world again. If you're ready to face the world again, you have the happy and contented. Nabigo ka once, you were sad once, and now you're happy and you can become contented again. You can become ready to face the world again. A bigger shaped pencil implies gaining body weight caused by stress. Ayan po, ang mga stress eaters dyan, and imbalanced diet. Nakaka-worry talaga pag nakikita na nating lumalaki ang ating mga bills. Yan, si worried emoji. Hopefully, mapaglabanan natin yan. And we can become a writing pencil ourselves. It's similar to while you are into doing your responsibility, students, and your duty to your work in your family, you can become contented and determined. Ayan po, I am able to do this. I am a writing pencil. I can write and I can perform my own responsibility and my duty to my work and my family. So that's it for our SLM. The story of the pencil, no? Napakaganda po nung very short, but we can learn a lot from the qualities of the pencil. The question is, what kind of quality of pencil are you? Or what kind of pencil are you? Okay. Move on to activity 2. Choose a multimedia format to creatively present your experiences in life and tell how you feel about it using the pencil pictures. Ayan po. Papasok na po ang ating multimedia formats. Videos, animations, texts, we have audio, and we have images. Okay? Say, for example, you choose to interpret in your life experiences or relate in your life experiences si broken pencil. Yan, yung mga nag-emo lagi dyan, nag-emote lagi dyan, mga hugotero, hugotera. napili natin si broken pencil. So how are we going, what kind of multimedia format are we going to use? Most of the time, students nowadays are able to effectively use the PowerPoint presentation and this one, images in the form of blogs. So I took an example from the web. Ang ginamit niya is broken pencil and she connected it to her life. Sabi niya rito, for me, broken pencil will not be the end of the story. No, maybe she had a very sad story in her life. I will write my future the way I want it to happen. Wow, ang ganda, no? Henceforth, we'll try and adapt these beautiful, simple characteristics of one thing, the pencil, the broken pencil, which we ignore daily and don't realize it's usually really useful yet simple in nature. Like pencils, we get broken sometimes. Tama po ba, mga bata? And yet we can use this, our experiences of being broken, to rewrite our future. No? Ayokong maging broken forever. What do I do? How will I write my future? So this is from a author from the social media, Twitter, Facebook. No, I forgot her name. Let's make it anonymous for now. Another form of blog. Gumamit siya ng image, no? And she titled it "Broken Pencil Still Write." Now we may be broken sometimes, but we are still here. We can still write. Overwhelmed but not and never will be defeated. Nabobroken tayo pero hindi tayo kailanman magiging talo forever. Yan po. Ginamit niyo yun. Overwhelmed but not defeated. You can also make use of PowerPoint or video presentations. No, the most credible sources for examples or samples would be the YouTube. Okay, somebody used what do you call this? A Bible verse, Jeremiah 29:11, in connection with the pencil parable. No, sabi niya nakakonect ata siya doon sa the story of the pencil, and then siguro she had her own dose of bad experiences, but she believes that the Lord has plans for her or him to prosper and not her or him being harmed forever, no? And there is always hope, there's always a future. So kinonect niya yung parable. Again, authors also make use of parable and fables, no? In our case for today, the author used a parable. Ano po yung parable, no? It's a kind of literary device that makes use of values, religious beliefs, Christian values. You put in the story so to give more meaning to your story and to make your message a lot clearer. Ito po yun, ginamit po ni Paulo Coelho. No? He also made use of a parable. Ayan po. Or you can have digital posters such as this one. See? Ang tawag dito, yesterday, and then today I was broken, tomorrow, broken pa rin siya. But what's the positive thing about this image is that there is a new pencil, no? Na broken man siya, dumami naman ng kanyang pag-asa. Ayan, no? Nagkaroon siya ng panibagong pag-asa. All right? Likely man, but still, he is a pencil or she is still a pencil. You can also, for those who have no internet connections, pwede po tayong gumamit ng, eto po, catchy drawing pencil slogans and even posters. No? Most of our students nowadays, even without the help of internet, are very capable artists, no, creative artists. Kaya nila, no, mag-drawing ng posters, even slogans, and they are very good at that. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng ganito. For those who are having trouble with internet connection. Okay, so that's it for Broken Pencil. For our next story, okay, by Kevin Kwan. This guy here, if you're not familiar with him, maybe you're familiar with his other work. Crazy Rich Asians, na napakasikat ngayon yan, na nabibigyang platform ang mga Asian artists on the big screen because big thanks to this guy, Kevin Kwan. He is also the author of our next genre in focus, an excerpt from this novel, Rich People Problems. No, most of us, we think that poor people only have problems, but rich people do have their own doses of problem. What do you think would be the problems of these crazy rich people, according to Kevin Kwan? Let's start, okay? Let's go back to your SLM. Your activity there will be try to guess the jumbled letters. Okay, the first jumbled word or jumbled letters here would be the TED2. Ano kaya yan? Which means used to express disbelief or disapproval. Okay? Most of you make this kind of gesture pagka meron kayong disbelief or disapproval, ayaw nyo yung nangyayari, no? TED2. Okay, the correct word for this one is tutted. Okay, no? Yan, tutted. Used to express disbelief or disapproval. Next word, for Xiao. A person employed to drive a private car. Okay, good afternoon, watching from New Canaan Integrated School, Alabel Division of Sarangani. Magandang hapon po, Ricky Rose Araneta. Okay po. What do you think is a person employed to drive a private car? Okay, this is properly known as the chauffeur. Okay, French word for a person employed to drive a private car. So siya pala yung pinanggalingan ng chauffeur, ano? It comes from this word, chauffeur. Anong trabaho ng tatay mo? Chauffeur po. Chauffeur, yan. Diyan po nanggaling actually, no? It's a little bit of a socialite thing for the rich people. Chauffeur, French word, person employed to drive a private car. Next, squeehigh. Okay, to agitate with a light, rapid motion. Ganun mo. Inisin mo. Ipitik mo. That is whisk. No? Alright? Another term for a cooking item. Yung pang ganun po. Diba? Whisking motion yon. This is it. Whisk. Ayan, whisk. To agitate with a light, rapid motion. Next word, rensereve. A deep respect for someone or something. We have this for our parents and our teachers and for people we really admire and respect. Reverence. Ayan. No? Yung rensereve po is reverence. A deep respect for someone or something. I have a deep respect or reverence for Philippine literature. Yan. I'm proud of our Philippine literature. No? I hope you are too. Tomedacus. Normal or usual due to its being familiar. That is actually the word accustomed. Accustomed na ako dito. I am normal or usual or being familiar with this time. I'm already accustomed to this. Now, Filipinos are very much accustomed to summer. We are sweating nowadays. But sanay na tayo. We are all accustomed to this kind of weather. Kunti, a business person of exceptional wealth. Marami tayo niyan sa Pilipinas. This is known as the Tycoon. One day, I hope you learners will become tycoons yourselves. Venha, a place of offering favorable opportunities. It is known as haven. A place. It is term for a place offering favorable opportunities. Haven po ang pagbasa natin dyan. Haven. Crypt nondes, lack of interesting quality. Marami po tayong nondescript. Yan, opo. Correct word for that is nondescript, no? The average, lack of interesting quality, the karaniwan, no? Pangkaraniwan. Crypt nondescript. Yeah, I am nondescript sometimes, but I don't think that is a bad idea. I like being nondescript most of the time. Ayoko nang napapansin. I hope I don't know about you guys, but I like being nondescript. Now, let's dig deeper to this excerpt from the story. If you have read it from your SLM, who do you think are the characters in the story? Let's make use of the text itself from the excerpt. Mababasa niyo po yun sa inyong SLM. Ito po, I highlighted them. Bettina Ortiz Imenya was not accustomed to waiting. Sino si Bettina? She is a former Miss Venezuela and Miss Universe runner-up, of course, and the exceedingly bronze strawberry blonde. Wow, what's these days the wife of? Who is her husband, Herman Ortiz Imenya. Though wala siyang masyadong part dito po sa ating excerpt, si Herman Ortiz, but Bettina has a very big part here in our excerpt. Next, we can see on this part of the excerpt, Julie. Yan. Sino si Julie? She is, according to Bettina, the owner of the restaurant Bettina always frequents. Ayan, no? Lagi siya nandoon. Siya po yung may-ari nung si Julie po yung may-ari ng restaurant na laging pinagtatambayan ni Bettina, no? All right. And then we also have a quick appearance, the Duke of Glencora. Glencora is in Skibbereen, Ireland. Tingnan natin mamaya kung saan ba tong Glencora na to. And being a duke, of course, is he has his own royalty. Ano kaya? How do we know that he is royal and rich? Meron siyang own yacht, private yacht. Ayun, yung kanyang Windermere, his royal whistman, you will see moored off the coast. Isang uri po ito ng yacht or private yacht or yate. Another is he has his red fishing cap. That tells us he is he is fond of using or going fishing using his royal yacht. Ayan, okay? And the next one would be 3 tan well-built men. Nabanggit po ito doon sa excerpt natin. Who are these? These are the Duke's security detail. Makikita nyo po sa ating text, no? Mapapansin ito ni Julie and Bettina. Okay, 3 tan well-built men. They were wearing and they were always ready for something or danger. Halatang halata, very obvious that they are the Duke of Glencora's security detail, mga bodyguard. All right? And of course, nabanggit sa dulo that whom Julie and Bettina had an interest would be Alfred Shang. Sino si Alfred Shang? From what Miss Julie heard, she is, though at first, si Bettina, napagkamalan siyang chauffeur. Yan, no? Napagkamalan siyang driver ni Duke of Glencora. But according to Julie, he is the most powerful man in Asia. Very, very rich and powerful. Okay. Now, digging deeper again to the story, can you tell the significant places reflected in the story? Tingnan natin po. Meron kayang kinalaman yung mga places na to sa story natin. Let's see. Let's take a look at the places that were reflected in the story. Are you familiar with this one? This is Miami. Nabanggit po ito sa unang-una, no? Miami. Okay? So, use your imagination and look at this picture. Miami is this. Made of beaches, tall buildings, and of course, the rich and the famous. And we also have Harbor Island in the Bahamas. Ayun, paboritong punta ng mga mahilig sa yate, and those people who are able to have their own private yacht and go to beaches like this one, Harbor Island, the Bahamas. Also, the Dunmore Street was reflected in the story. Dunmore Street is in the Bahamas as well. It's famous for this particular junction wherein rich people can buy expensive suits and apparel. And we also have here Chauffeur, yan, Whisk. Salamat po, Miss Chris Ollie. All right. We have here Caribbean. Yan, I'm sure you have watched movies wherein the setting would be in this place, Caribbean. So very familiar. If you're familiar with Miami, alam niyo ang ibig sabihin ng Caribbean. Beaches, expensive hotels, and of course, lots and lots of rich people. Hello po, Mrs. Stu Manalo. And of course, St. Bart's. This is also in the Caribbean, no? St. Bart's. Nabanggit po ito. Andun saan nakalagay yung restaurant ni Julie, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, dahil nabanggit si Duke of Glencora, ito po yung Glencora Skibbereen. Oh. What do you think is the familiar thing between these places? They all have a nice or beautiful body of water and, of course, beaches for the rich people. Ayan. May duke ba naman sa Glencora? So, sigurado akong mayaman si Duke of Glencora. Okay? With that, what do you think is the theme of the story? Ayan, no? Places like the Caribbean, St. Bart's, the Bahamas. Of course, none other than the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And this time, this will be the very famous once former Miss Universe, and of course, people like Alfred Shang and Julie, an owner of the restaurant in Caribbean. Lifestyles of the rich and famous, no? The kind of lifestyle that I think we can experience, but you can. But for me, I think I can only experience only in my dreams. Okay, I hope one day you can become rich and famous as well. All right, let's have a review of the elements of the short story that we can see here, since we are talking about a short story. Theme, setting, characters, point of view, characterization, of course. Plot, and of course, in plot, the exposition, rising action, conflict, climax, falling action, and resolution. Gagamitin nyo ito mamaya sa inyong, in your SLM. Okay, let's have a quick look at the 21st century ICT skills na kailangan nyo digital learners, no? Here are some of them. You have this ICT skill if you are able to copy or remove a folder, connect, install new devices. For our part here in our tutorial, create electronic presentations with presentation software. PowerPoint, videos, text, blogs, okay? If you're able to do this, then you are a 21st century ICT learner. And the truth is, most of you are. maybe 90 to 95% of you nowadays, senior high school students, are considered to be 21st century learners in the ICT world or digital world. Paano natin siya magagamit sa ating literature study? Let's take a look at this enrichment activity. Fill out the elements. If you remember the elements of the short story, rich people problem, generate slides. Okay, ang focus natin, makagawa ng PowerPoint presentation or simply a graphic organizing using Word doc. Madaling-madali ito para sa inyo, most of you. Okay? Pwede natin gamitin yung kanina, PowerPoint, no? SlideShare is one of the credible sources of sample PowerPoint presentations. You can also use those for your study, no? And of course, if you have your laptops or your desktops with you, or even your phone, meron po kayong Microsoft PowerPoint doon and Word doc. Makakagawa po tayo ng analysis of the elements of the short story, rich people, of the excerpt rather, rich people problem in the form of Microsoft PowerPoint. Kanina po, example na po tayo ng PowerPoint presentation. Mas kayang-kaya niyong gawin yon in a much more presentable way. Additional activity, create a digital picture story of the rich people problem. Digital picture story ang ating focus ito, showcasing your ICT skills for creative, unique presentation. If you're familiar with YouTube, makikita niyo po itong dalawang video na to. These were made by, I think, 11th graders or 12th graders din po. No? Rich People Problem by Kwan. You just go to YouTube. Tingnan niyo po yung ginamit doon. They employed images, audio, yan. Gumamit po sila ng, of course, video and text. Okay. Steps. Makikita niyo po ito sa inyong SLM. Use the story, Rich People Problem. Good afternoon po, Vinsarte from Putlod, San Jose National High School. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. Remember, use the story. Note the sequence of events for creative adaptation of literary text. Import yan. Pwede po kayong gumawa sa web. Images and music to your slides. There are lots of applications, even your phones have tons of these. Apply appropriate template designs. Marami rin po ito sa inyong phone. Google applications, kaya sabi po kanina sa ating introduction. Add transitions, adjust the timeline, and save your output. And then the rubrics will be in your SLMs, and that will be according to your teachers as well. So that's it for our last tutorial for today. This is again your tutor Dick. It's been an honor, parents and ETUlay learners. Maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon at pakikinig sa akin. I hope na itulay natin ang 21st century from literature from the Philippines and the world. This is me again saying for the final time, keep reading, keep loving, but always keep it right. To God be the glory po. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Pagpalain kayo.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!